Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. Now, Thanksgiving is in a couple of days. Hopefully by now you have your wines picked out or you have a general idea of what you want. I did a couple episodes on possibilities for wines for Thanksgiving. Hopefully that gave you some ideas. And one of my favorites, and I didn't do an episode on, I think I did last year, is Grenache. So if you are undecided, go find yourself a good Spanish Grenache. They're inexpensive, they're really good, and they work well with turkey, in my opinion. But now it's after, now we're going on to after Thanksgiving. You got a lot of leftovers. You spent some money on turkey and the sides and all that, on the wine as well. So now you want little budget wines to get you through till Christmas. Why not? So we're going to look at a couple of wines. I reviewed the Roadside Cellars Red, I think a couple episodes ago, and I really liked it. Great little blend. Ended up being my pick of the month. Sold a ton of it. I believe it was around $8 to $10. Really good value. In fact, one of my customers, a good friend of mine, said that he actually waited a couple of days and it got even better. So, that's exciting. In fact, I decided to make a second label not associated with their winery to sell off some of their excess juice. So we're going to start off right away with Roadside Cellars 2018 Roadside White Columbia Valley. Rolls in at $8. Rinse. Now, I looked at the label on this one and I forgot to ask the sales rep what was in this. So we'll just have to take a chance on this. I hate it when you don't put it on the back. Just telling you, wineries, just put the grapes. You don't have to put percentages, none of that. Just tell us what's in the blasted wine, for Christ's sake. Just say it. Let's see what we get on the nose. Really interesting, sort of a sweet, it's not super expressive on the nose. Kind of reminds me of a little bit of watermelon, apple, pear. Almost like a little bit of a pear pie, if you've ever had such a thing. I've never had it, but I can imagine what a pear pie would smell like. There you go. Let's see what we get on the palate. So not super expressive, but there are those elements there. Definitely on the sweeter side. So my guess, I think it's sweet grapes, Chenin Blanc for sure, Moscato for sure. Well, this doesn't have Moscato in it. Well, I don't know that for a fact, but I don't think so. So Riesling, Chenin Blanc, possibly maybe a little bit of Viognier. I don't think so though. Could be. All those are on the sweeter side. This isn't super sweet. This is not Riesling sweet, but it definitely is on the sweeter side. Pears and apples, very on the sweeter side. Just picture a really ripe pear, a really ripe apple, put them together, that's what you have. Front to finish, dries out a little bit on the finish, but here's the deal on this wine. I had no idea it was going to be sweet. Unless you go into a store where your wine steward, or whoever it is, your wine person, can tell you this is a sweet wine, or they have a little sign on there saying this is on the sweeter side, apples, pears, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be disappointed if you don't like sweet wine. Because this is hedging towards a Riesling, hedging towards a Moscato, hedging towards a Chenin Blanc, for sure. All of those things. And it has a nice dry finish, very long, fairly long, not very long, fairly long. Spicy food. This is a perfect spicy food white. You're having Asian noodles with a little spiciness to it. It'd be really good. You're doing a halibut. You have a little bit of maybe Cajun action or something like that, that would be very good. But it's really tricky when you don't know that it's on the sweeter side. Now, some people might love this. I know some of my customers, that would love this wine. Absolutely, for sure. But, yeah. I'm going to go C+. I think it's a pretty good wine. I'm just kind of pissed that I didn't know it was sweet when I got into it. Just saying. Doesn't it? That watermelon just kind of sneaks in there, which is kind of cool. I mean, the wine isn't bad. I just like to know what I'm getting into. You know what I'm saying? You guys understand that? Can you make a comment? How do you feel about that? I mean, you can't always walk into let's say you're walking into a main grocery store and, you know, they have a central buyer and they just don't really have very many notes on a wine. They just put it on their shelf, says Roadside Cellars White, you know, $7.99. You know, and you didn't want a sweeter wine. It would kind of make you angry a little bit. Not angry, but, you know, just like, really? Really? Anyway, let's move on. Roadside Cellars 2016, Cabernet Sauvignon, Columbia Valley. This rolls in at $10. All right. Good color on this one. So, you know, generally speaking, we know what a cab is. We know what to expect from a cab. Not all cabs are, you know, the same, but they have a general profile that you kind of expect to see in a cab. So, yeah, you don't have to have a wine steward there or somebody there to tell you exactly about the cab. But look at nice dark colors, very dark. Now, let's see what we get on the nose. Classic currants, a little bit of Colgate toothpaste. A little bit of mintiness coming through, which I like. A little bit of an earthiness. Ooh, just got a spot on my glasses. A little bit of earth, licorice, currants, and that slight mintiness. Yeah, let's see what we get on the palate. Okay. Sorry, guys. Even for $10, I want a little bit betterness. Very astringent on the palate. So there's currants, but there's kind of a cranberry-esque thing coming through there. A little bit of tobacco, but very, very tight and tart on the palate. Very one-dimensional, very plain. This is a pass. I mean, I don't want to go on and on about this wine, but talk about a difference between the Roadside Red. So here you got the Roadside Red, which is a fantastic wine. You're looking at their cab, you're going, okay, this might be good, and you're going, yuck. I mean, seriously, for $10. Now, I'm not saying everybody out there is not going to like this, but I would not sell this in my store, in my department, at all. Simply because I have tasted $10 cabs that at least had, you know, good balance. You know, they weren't perfect. Of course, we don't expect that for $10. None of you expect to get a complex, fantastic wine for $10. That's amazing when you can. I mean, the Roadside Red was pretty amazing for the money, but this is just, it hits you as you get an initial hit of currant, and it turns into this kind of tart, cranberry-esque thing that just doesn't work. It's very awkward. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's a pass. I'm gonna go D-. I'd go F, except I don't think it's a total failure, but it's pretty close. D-. There you go. A white that doesn't tell you what's in it, kind of pisses me off, and a cab that is just not that great. even for $10. Thank you for taking a little time out of your day. Sorry this wasn't the best show ever as far as finding winners. That doesn't happen every time. I would, if you want a little bit of a sweeter wine and you're doing Asian food, this would be a good play. It's only $8. And hopefully the store that you go to, the guy knows that, or the lady or guy knows this wine. This one, no. Don't waste your money on the cab. Seriously, do not waste your money. Unless you need something to cook with. I always say if you're cooking with wine, you better be able to drink it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm getting more subscribers. Thank you very much. I appreciate all your support. Make a comment about what this white, would that make you angry if you got home and it was sweet and you had no idea? You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars.